Hey, what's up, classic movie fans? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the Three Stooges, more specifically about Larry Fine and his tragic accident that happened when he was very, very young. It significantly changed his whole life, and it got him into some interesting doors which wouldn't have been open to him in other ways. Before I get to that, I do want to let you know that I am giving away the full collection of the Three Stooge shorts. Yep, that's everything from the 30s all the way to the 50s, 190 shorts. How do you win that? It's free to enter. You don't have to pay any money or shipping costs or anything like that. Just make sure to watch the entire video to see how you can win. Now, Louis Feinberg, we can also say Louis Feinberg, shortened to Larry Feinberg, or Larry Fine, as we know him lovingly, was born to a Russian Jewish family in 1902. What's important about that are his parents, Joseph Feinberg, and his mother, Fanny Lieberman. Now, they owned a small watch repair and jewelry shop, and when they were growing up, Larry would always hang around there with his parents and so forth. And at one point, he had a very near tragic childhood accident. Now, what happened was that his father used to regularly use oxalic acid. Now, if you don't know, oxalic acid is something that jewelers, especially at the time, would use. And they would use that to clean the jewelry and test basically the jewelry for the gold content. So what happened on one occasion, young little Larry mistook the acid for a beverage, that is a drink. So he raised the bottle to his lips. He was going to drink it. And before he could drink any of it, his father basically slapped it out of his hand. He knocked the bottle from his hand. Luckily, I'm happy that happened, splashing his arm, his forearm that is, with the acid, unfortunately causing extensive damage. Now that in itself is traumatic, and yes, my hat's off to his dad, who was able to do something to prevent him from drinking it, which would have proved fatal. But the fact that he splashed on his forearm is very unfortunate and something he had to deal with especially through growing up, but through all of his life. Now, yes, unfortunately, this acid did even start eating away at his arm. It's pretty gruesome, but it is something that it's a reality. And maybe a lot of you didn't even know that he went through this. So his parents took him to the hospital, and while the doctors suggested to amputate his arm, they decided that it wouldn't have been necessary to do so. So they repaired it with a skin graft that was taken from his leg. Now, that does take healing, and it takes time to get back to normal. So what they thought, he needed to be able to stretch his arm, to use his arm to kind of exercise it so that it went back to full health. So his parents arranged for him to take some violin lessons. He even took up boxing at some point, but when his father found out, he made sure that he wouldn't do that anymore. But with the violin, his parents really liked that, his father liked that. And so Larry became quite a good violinist, even playing many classical pieces. Now, when he was in his teenage years, his parents considered sending him to a musical conservatory all the way in Europe. However, World War I made that pretty much impossible. Now, Larry decided to change his talents from the music world toward vaudeville, and you know that there's a bit of combinations there. So he would play his violin in several of his acts and even wrote some of his own music before ending up as one of the quote-unquote Stooges in Ted Healy's group, alongside Moe and Shemp in 1925. Now, whenever you see Moe, Larry, and Curly playing some type of musical instrument or just the trio, what's happening is both Moe and Curly are miming it. They're not really playing any instrument. Although Larry, whenever he has the violin, he is actually playing it, which is really cool. It's really interesting. It gives him a unique taste, a unique flavor. Now, I want you to let me know if you ever knew about this. Of course, he was able to heal, and he did develop this great talent of playing the violin and being a great comedian. So I'm happy to give this information to all of you to know the details and the extent of the accident. Did you know about this? And what do you think of the incident? Do you think that they took the correct measures in terms of his father, slapping the acid out of his hand, taking him to the hospital? They were going to amputate his arm, but they didn't, and they put skin grafts on, and they got him the violin. Like, to me, that seems like they did a really good job in taking care of him and getting him back to full health. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. So it's really admirable to his parents of just being really smart, really intelligent, being able to see him through this accidental tragedy that he used to his benefit. It turned into a positive. So before we finish this video, I know all of you want to know how to win the amazing collection of the 190 Stooge shorts. How do you do it? Well, first you have to be a subscriber. In order to be eligible, you must subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button and also hit the thumbs up like button. Those are the two things you must do. In addition, also write anything in a comment. Make sure to write a comment as long as you have the words Larry's violin. If you have Larry's violin, that's the code for this video. Larry's violin. You can write pretty much anything else you want as long as Larry's violin is in there. And finally, there's a link in the description. Don't email about me this, please. Just click the link in the description below the video and then submit to me. Once you click on that link, it'll ask you for a bit of information so that I know when I pick the winner where to send the DVD and so forth, or the collection of DVDs, that is. Thank you so much. I have announced winners for the past 3 giveaways, so make sure to check my community page. That's where I'll announce this one in a short amount of time, and I'll let all of you know of the winners and ship it to the lucky winner. So good luck to all of you. Thanks so much for the support as always. I know some of you may need to hear this. These are hard times. These are difficult times for myself, for a lot of you, but we're in this together. Take it one day at a time. Be positive. You are awesome. You will get through this, including myself, who I'm going through things right now. If you're going through things, know that you are not alone. We'll get through this together, and don't forget, be hopeful. Thank you to everyone who supports me, especially my Diamond tier patrons. Vito L, David D, Sally N, Ricky, Citizen Kane 359, Kevin K, Greg S. Thank you as well to my new Gold tier patrons, Jennifer P and Scott F. To be listed here, check out the links below for my Patreon.